to my channel. Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creations. So today what we're making is we're making some concertina envelopes, like policy pockets. You can put policy pocket fasteners on, but it enables you to put ephemera into your journal. You can put it onto your journal as a fixture. You can just glue around there and have a little tuck spot in there, like that. And I've got a 4-inch by 5-inch one, and this is the one I like the best. This is 3 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this is kind of tag shape. You can see it's got index cards and tags and things like that. And what I've done is I've printed on some book page, and I printed some of my bead journal on book page, so that will go in my bead journal. This one, this is the little coffee shop. This one, it's a new one that I've just finished and is in my coffee store, and I'll be working on this one, this digital, very soon. So I'm quite pleased with these, and all it is just coffee dyed paper or eco dyed paper and book pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the 3 1/4 by 5, and all I do is this is an A4 piece of paper, and I cut it to 3 1/4, so I'm just going to trim that to 3 1/4. Okay, now these A4 is 11 and 7/8. So what I want is, that's 5 1/2. So the best thing to do is to measure 5 1/2 and crease it. And I'm going to use my scoreboard. If you haven't got a scoreboard, just use your... And I'm going to do it to 5 1/4 because what I want is I want a lip. I want about 1/4 inch lip, so I'm just going to lightly crease that down. And then I'm going to, that's at the 1/4 inch, so I'm going to put a couple of creases down just so that we've got a rounded, you know, when you put things in your pockets, in your envelopes, and they're quite bulky, so I just like to have just a bit of a gusset. And I'm just going to crease that. So there you are. So it's actually an 1/8. So I've got 2/8. And that'll do like that. And then what I do here is around the corner. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to stick this down a bit thick. Okay, so there we have it. Now what you can do is my book pages inside are going to be 4.5. So because I've got a bit of a gusset there, I want a gusset here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that on there, line it up, line that crease up with one of the lines, and I'm just going to do a crease either side. And that just gives you a crease both sides. And it just gives you a bit of a gusset, just enough. If you're bulking your pockets out a little bit, it just gives that room so you're not sort of like ripping any glue bits off or anything like that. So what I'll do is I'll ink these bits up. So it's 4 7/8, 4 6/8 at that side, but our little pockets inside are going to be 4.5. So we'll put that to one side. Now what I've got is I've just got some encyclopedia book page. I've got 2 sheets. It's quite strong paper. And I know I want it 4.5, so I want it 9 inches down. But I want it 3 1/4 inches wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these strips into 3 1/4 inches wide first. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3. I just want 3 folds. That'll do for the next one. And I want these folded at 4.5 inches. Actually I don't, because I want a little bit of a lip on these papers as well. So I'm just taking it up to 4 3/4. And then I'm just going to trim that bit off. These bits of paper will come in handy for stamping on and doing all sorts. So there I've got my 3 pockets that are now 4 3/4. So what I want to do is I want to turn these over. I'm not measuring it, I'm just turning it over to what's the easiest. And just turn that one over. And if they don't match at the top, it doesn't really matter. Now what I want to do is I want to glue these lips down. And all it does is it just strengthens the edges of the pockets. That's the only reason I do that for. And I'm using art glitter glue. The reason I'm using art glitter glue is when I use glue stick, the glue stick doesn't dry as quick. And because I want to put thumb notches in, the circle punch that I use for the thumb notches tends to not cut properly. So there we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pocket edges down. I'm just folding them in half just to get the middle. Put them back in there. Now I've got a little crease there for the middle. And I'm just, and there we are. And that's my little thumb notch. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick the sides. So my 3 pockets. Just a thin bead of glue. Up the edges. Close it down. Yeah, and there's a bit of glue seepage. It's going on my silicone mat, that's fine. Yeah. And if you wanted to, you could stitch down those if you wanted. I don't tend to stitch down them, not on these pockets. I have done in the past. And I'm spreading the glue out to the side so it doesn't go in. And spread it out to the side like that. Okay. So I've now got my 3 pockets. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink round them. You don't really see it, but it always looks nice, as you can see. You can't really see them, but I can see the inked edges, and it just gives it that nice oldie worldy look. So I don't go too daft on it. And it just looks nice like that. So we've got that. And what I'm doing is I'm putting that down to that end crease, and then I'm folding it up there. So when I put the pockets in, I just want the pockets to come to this. I'm only doing this so that you can see. So I want my pockets just to come to that bit there. So when I stick that one down, we've got a bit of a pocket there. So what we do now is, and these are quite simple. I mean, they look quite complicated, but they're not. Oh, see there, that's a bit. Let's see a bit there. All right, so what I do now is make sure you've got your if you don't put thumb notches in. One of the reasons I put thumb notches in, so I know what's the top of my pocket, the opening, and what's not. Makes it easy for me. And all I do is I put about a 1/4 inch of glue in the middle. Then I line my pocket up and I stick it on top and I fold it down. And you can see doesn't come, it doesn't match up, doesn't matter. And there we are. So then we do it again. So just a line of glue, about 1/4 inch of a strip. and we stick it on. Like that, and I'm just going to ink round this one. And there we have it. And your pockets open like a concertina. When the glue's still damp, don't pull them too far, otherwise you'll pull them off. And then what we do then is we do exactly the same, a 1/4 inch. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it on the back. And remember, I just want it at that line there. And when you keep putting your glue, you can kind of feel you've got like a spine of glue. You can feel it. And then we want the same here. Just about 1/4 inch. And what I'm doing now is I'm folding it up at that one. And I'm just sticking it down. So that we've got our gusset on the bottom. And then when we open it, again, your best off way, the only reason I'm opening it is so that you guys can see it on the video, but I really would advise you not to open it. Just make sure that there's no glue seeped over into your pocket and it's sticking the top up. And then we're ready to decorate our pocket. So what I've got, I printed out a couple of book pages. So I've got that's the spring and that's the daisy. And I'm going to go with the spring. Now, just the way it's printed, it's just left a little edge. So I am going to, normally I would put it to there, because when I put book page on something, I like a border, but I'm going to trim that border off. So I want it to about there and there. So I'm just going to trim that off. And I didn't trim that very well. It's all wonky. Oh, dearie me. Right, we'll do it with this one. And that one's printed right to the edge. It's just sometimes when I'm using the trimmer, I don't hold it in properly and it just moves. That's better. Then I can see my flower there. And then this little bit is the same as that, so we'll have it there. So I'm just going to trim that little bit off. And I'm going to put it that way. So I just want the two little edges. Shove that out the way. I'm trying to keep my desk clean. Just trying to keep it clean so you guys can see what I'm working on instead of the distraction of a pile system. And again, I'm just using walnut stain. You don't have to use book pages. Well, you don't have to use printed book pages. I just find I quite like printed book pages. And because I've got lots of digitals, I've got my own digitals plus a lot of other people's. I like to use them as much as possible, but I love book pages. I just love working with book pages. So there we are. So I'm just sitting that in the middle there. I think I might get a little bit more book page on this, a little bit more ink on this. I like the walnut stain because it gives it that burnt edge look. And we'll stick that on there. And I think what we'll do is we'll put some lace on this pocket. And there we are. So I'm just going to get some lace. Just going to get a few bits and pieces. So I've got some bits and pieces here. This is, I quite like that, but I don't know whether it'll, I like this one as well. This is my most favourite. This is the one I brought back from America. I bought it in Hobby Lobby, and compared to the lace that we buy here in the UK, it's quite cheap, believe me. I've also got this, which you can't really see, but if it was put on with this, and I've got, whoop, I've just thrown it on the floor. No, I would need to colour that one. Just throwing that one on the floor. We've got some more here. Again, this is, I got this from Temu. I buy a lot of lace from Temu. Oh no, that's pretty. The only thing is I wish the scallops would fit on there, and they don't. So I don't think I'll use that one. I've got some sparkly here. Oh, little bits of eyelash thread. I really need to go in and sort my lace out. Now, I quite like that one. I like it over that flower, and I like that one underneath. I always go back to this one, so I need to cut it up there. So I'm using my Tim Holtz scissors because they've not been blunted yet by the paper. And I'm going to use Fabri-Tac on this. The reason I'm using Fabri-Tac is because it's been leaking, been bubbling underneath. Dearie me. I think we'll have the picket edges off there, so I'm just put that up there like that, and we'll put that down there like that. And this is just a silicone, it's a hairdressing dye, hair dye applicator, putting bleach and dye on people's hair. It saves my fingers. Oh, we've got another bit here. Doesn't really matter if you've got any little edges sticking off. Now on the B one, I put the tab, and I quite like that. So I've got tabs because we had a freebie. And do I want a whale tail, or do I want the little square? We've got some little square ones. I think we'll use some of them. Yep, wrong colour, but they've got a little bit of green on them, but that's fine because what we can do there, and I'll do a little bit of stamping. I think I've got a stamp on this. Not particularly bothered what it says, but it's got some script writing at the bottom, and that's all I'm doing. There we are. It's upside down, but I'm not bothered. And I think we'll do it, but no, I'm going to put it on the side like that one. I'll put my Fabri-Tac away, and we'll go back to the art glitter glue. And the other one had a little dangle. I'd already put that on, so I'm not really bothered about this having a little dangle, but I think what I will do is I'll put a grommet in it. And I've been putting my stuff away, dear me. And I'm using the smaller, the 1/8. And I'm just going to put it at the side. And I think we'll go for a gold. Now I did buy 1/8 grommets from Amazon, but they are a little bit stiff to go on, but they do go on. And they've got the little rings that go at the back, and I never used to use them. I used to use them for dangles and things, but I've realised that they do make it look a lot neater. So when I do it upside down like that, I have the wee peg that goes inside the good part of the grommet. And there we are. And if I wanted, I could put like a little bulb pin, or a little bit of string or something like that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at, I've got some butterflies somewhere, and I've had these for a while. Got that one. Now some of these might be Artymaze, some of them might be mine. I couldn't tell you what's what at the moment. I want the yellow, or do I want the pink? I think the yellow, although there's a nice greeny pink one here. No. Blue? No. Could have a little green moth. Quite like him. No, I like him. Another one. Nope. Sticking with him. He's been chosen. Okay. And do I want to kind of label what labels have I got? I've forgotten what's in these packets because I've been away to Cyprus. Yeah. Nope. But we'll have a couple of numbers. No, I want to... We'll have number 7. put that on there. Now I'm going to use Fabri-Tac for the butterfly. I should have really used Fabri-Tac for the number as well, but that glitter glue does stick, but it is recommended that you use Fabri-Tac. Quite like that. 64. Reminds me of that kids program 64 Zoo Lane, I think it is. Now I'm going to be having 64, 64, 64 Zoo Lane running round my head. And we'll put that on there. And we'll put them back over there. So I don't have time to do another one. I was hoping that I would have time. However, this works no matter what, you know, whether you do the larger one, which again I'll measure it, is 4 inches by 4.5, just over 4 3/4, or whether it's this one. And that is so good for putting all your bits and pieces in. Have I got any tags that are waiting on a home in here? Okay, so we've got a tag there. We've got a tag there. No. Oh, we've got some tags over here. Right, so you can pop all your tags in. I think that might, no, perfect. And because you've got your gusset there as well as there, you're laughing. So it does open, you know, wider at the bottom, and you've got your little rounded fastener there at the top. And what I was hoping to do was to do one and do a policy envelope closure, but with that you can put a piece of string in and you can tie it round, and again you can put it, use it as, you know, a free envelope, put it in the pocket, or you can stick it in that way and have a tag behind, or stick it in that way and have a tag. You know, you could have a tag in that way. So I hope you get something out of that. I've enjoyed doing these. I love concertina pockets and tags and things like that. And I hope you have a try. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.